Welcome to the blackawakening.com, and this is your Black Awakening. I'm your spiritual practitioner, 322 Peppy Black Sun, or just 322 Black Sun for short. And the purpose of my platform is for the restoration and preservation of indigenous black people and our spirituality. I'm going to address the email I just received. Brother asked me, what do I mean by indigenous black people, and does that include African American or blacks? So I'm going to answer that question. I want to unpack that right now. Yes, brother, that does. And understanding that in this Luciferian caste system, they give you these misnomers to conceal your true identity. For a reference point, we're going to go to Wikipedia 1828 definition of American. I'll paraphrase this. This is American. A native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europe born in America. So your true nationality would be an American. Your ethnicity would be an Aboriginal. And understanding the misnomer as far as what black or African American is to conceal your true identity. Understanding that America is two continents and Africa is one. Last we knew, in immigration naturalization, continents do not grant citizenship. Only sovereign nations do. So, in understanding that, we're going to do another reference point. Now, these are just reference points, not tools to be searching upon. We're going to go Wikipedia. It used to be the Christian doctrine of discovery. Now they just named it to the discovery doctrine. Now, if you go further down where it's talking about the doctrine has been primarily used to support decisions to invalidating or ignoring Aboriginal possession of the land in favor of modern governments. It says to ignore or invalidate Aboriginal possessions of this land. So who are the Aboriginal people? The copper-colored races that were already found here. You were already here. Okay? This is what they conceal from the people. So if they can convince you you came from a Neverland far, far away, you will forfeit your inheritance, which is where your feet are standing, this land. The indigenous name is Turtle Island. So for those who coming from Africa, the indigenous name of Africa would be Alkebulan. That's the indigenous name of Africa. In understanding, if you look at a map, we just want to use it, just Google, it's just a reference point, but if you look at a map of Alkebulan, you'll see that it appears to be upside down. But actually your maps is upside down. You see? They give you this perception or misperception of, you know, America or Africa, I should say, is on top and Europe is on bottom. When actually that's incorrect. Africa is on top and Europe is on the bottom. Africa is the far east, all the way to the Asiatics. If you look at another, on a little Google search, you look up Afro-Eurasia, and you'll see it's one continuous landmass. That means from the far east to the far west of the Asiatic mountains is one continuous landmass. And the original inhabitants of Afro-Eurasia are indigenous black people. Right. Indigenous black people are indigenous to Europe, to the Asiatic mountains. So in understanding there's two human species, Homo sapien and Neanderthals. The Homo sapiens are indigenous or original inhabitants of the plane with the net that we call the Firmidome planet. And the Neanderthals are coming from the hillsides of the three mountains of Mesopotamia. See, now you understand your position in this universe. Now, if we go further, we're looking upon the Greek Septuagint, where Ptolemy Zorter invaded what we call Kemet, which is the ancient name of that territory, until he changed it to a Greek name, which is Egypt, and created a Greek Septuagint for the Medu Neter. With Ptolemy Zorter proclaimed himself to be God and came up with Zerterology. With a quick Google search at Wikipedia, you can see for yourself. Now, in understanding that concealing the true word given to the indigenous people, which is your 100 universal laws, morals, and precepts, From the Sabian text, I give you this esoteric text for indigenous people. These are 100, the Black Universal Creator 100 Laws, Morals, and Precepts for indigenous people. And understanding, if you take a prescription that was not prescribed for you, an adverse reaction could be your sickness, injury, or death. And considering how people have been taking this prescription that was not prescribed for you has led to a lot of mental sickness, a lot of spiritual injury, and actually physical death of our people. So in understanding, this has been prescribed for our people. Now, we're going to go refer to, just for another reference point, of what even our late greats, leaders, MLK and Malcolm X, what did they say about Aboriginal people here in America? Let's hear what they had to say. Then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the 67th law of polarity on page 37. I implore each and every one of you to get this book. It'll be in the disclaimer below. The Black Universal Creator's 100 Laws, Morals, and Precepts. Now we're going to discuss the 67th Universal Law and the Black Universal Creator's 100 Laws, Morals, and Precepts. And this will be as follows. When we discuss polarity, understanding polarity. Polarity is actually the equal and opposite forces of each other. For an example, up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west, on, off, good, evil. And understanding it. And understanding these energies resonates within the spirit of a person and can manifest through his thoughts and action, him or her thoughts and action. I'm going to show you how this law that you can apply to your life. And you can see what kind of energy field that someone's resonating in, regardless of the color that's on the outside of the avatar, meaning of the body, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Now, some of the 5 manifestations would be, when you're in a positive polarity, be as follows: good, love, courage, respect, defend. 1-5 in the negative would be evil, hate, fear, disrespect, and offend. Coming back to the positive, most people in the positive polarity are good people. They experience love, have courage, respect, and they defend. The same over here on the opposite side. Most of the people who are in the negative or malevolent polarity are evil, full of hate, instead of fear, constantly disrespectful, and offend or being offensive. Now, understanding this particular line right here that divides the polarity, or what you call the spiritual awakening, meaning the universal knowledge, okay, which has the ability to see on both sides of the polarity, whether it be left-hand path or right, and understanding the source of these energies. Understand that when you're in a positive polarity, you don't allow your manifestations, meaning your positive character traits, to go over in the negative polarity, or allow the negative polarity to come into your positive polarity energy field. And this is where the line that you hold to separate the two. Okay? Now, in understanding, if that was happening, I'm going to show you. When you allow the evil to come into your good, it cancels out the good. When you allow hate to come over to your love, it cancels out the love. And so on and so forth. Or for those who think you can give good to an evil polarity, remember, the energy cannot be destroyed. It just transcends, meaning it'll switch its position. So if you give good to evil, then you're going to have to receive the evil and replace your good. Now, your energy field will change from positive to negative. Understand? And so on and so forth. And understanding this particular line of discernment, this spiritual line, is what you're supposed to hold. Hold that line. And understanding the different paths. Now, this is on my right. Maybe on your left on television. On my right, this is the right path. Or you say the religious path. On the left is the left-handed path, or the Luciferian path. But in the center is the spiritual, awakening path. And you have the ability to use discernment between negative and positive. Understanding. And who is the author of these energy fields? What is the source? Who's the author? I'll show you who the author is. Now, far as with, when we go to good, in the etymology of good, or in the root word of good, you will have God. God would be the source of this positive energy field. On the negative, polarity, you would have the devil. So the devil is the source of this negative energy field. And those who partake in this particular negative energy field will be full of evil, full of hate, living in fear, constantly disrespectful, and defend or being offensive. Those who are positive under God would be in good, love, courage, respect, and defend. This is the line you must hold. Now, in understanding this, in this polarity, you can apply this to your life or any circumstances that you're in. You will be able to see which side of the polarity that the person is resonating upon, and the source, the author of that energy. And that's how you apply it to your life. And if you're on the wrong side of the polarity, then you need to realign your energy field. Okay? Because you can't live a positive life with a negative mind. And understand. So, in conclusion, I'm going to leave my indigenous people, those who are listening, with a prayer. It's a universal prayer from the Black Universal Creator, 100 Laws, Morals, and Precepts. And as in the name of the Universal Creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, please continue to bless upon all the listeners, families, and friends, and your true believers of when the day of reckoning takes place. For Universal Creator, you are all wise and all knowing, and unto you we all shall return. But until then, we give you the praises and glory that's due to you from this life until the hereafter. In the name of the Universal Creator, we pray that this shall be done. So until next time, reach one, teach one. Peace and take care.